let's do it. Oh, the sun starts off there. Boom.
Cheers.
Yeah. Hey, cheers.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks
guys.
for letting us come. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is dope. All right. Well, welcome to the Meat Dudes. I'm Evan,
I am Tyler.
and we're here with all the dudes from Grassland BBQ. All right, we got Pat, Sam, Brendan, and Drew. How are you guys doing?
Good, man. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. So we're up at Holy Mountain Brewery, and you guys just came up from Oregon. You guys, you reside down in Oregon, and you made the trip up here. Man, how was the trip bringing your huge smoker, your food truck, and all that meat, man? How'd you guys do it?
Let me ask you, how heavy is that? You got 2 smokers out there.
Yeah, the big one, when it's loaded down with wood, is very heavy. I think it's, I don't know, what is it, 4,000 pounds or something?
Gotta be.
Probably with all the wood.
With all
Which
that
is
wood?
about how much meat we brought with us as well, 4,000 pounds.
4,000 pounds of meat.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, the trip was a little eventful. Our food truck stopped working as we started it, like 30 minutes before we were going to start driving up here.
Awesome.
Luckily, we've got a cool mechanic who builds smokers and always helps us out, and he was able to fix it in like 2.5 hours.
Wow.
But we were sweating bullets and like calling rental companies and thinking we might have to go pop-up style for the whole weekend. But
Dang.
we made it. But yeah, it was a haul. We had Sam driving the food truck. I was pulling the smoker. Pat was driving a U-Haul full of all the meats and wares and merch and all of the stuff. And then Brendan had a car loaded down with sheet pans and pots and just all the stuff. So it's a journey every time we do this.
It's a convoy.
Yeah.
How many days are we selling meat?
3.
3 days.
Yeah,
Your
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Nice, man.
Dope.
Dude, that's great. So you made the trip from Oregon. That's where we got our smoker. It was made down in Portland. And so Tyler went down there and had to bring it up for Lady J for the
Bro.
restaurant, man. And that was a trip right there.
So Cletus is probably 2,000 pounds. And I had borrowed a trailer, and it was just a single tire trailer. And I pulled up, and my homie Jason and his partner were just like,
That shit ain't gonna make it.
Please let us know when you get home, And I was like, that's like a fucking driving a torpedo. Like, you can't stop. Like,
Yeah.
There's 2,000 pounds of heat behind you, and I just took my little Toyota Tacoma down there to pick it up, and I was like, no problem. Bro.
Yeah, we generally like just staying put. The smokers are on wheels, but it's
Yeah.
kind of nice to not haul them around all the time.
But this is where you guys, so up at Holy Mountain Brewery, this is where you guys kind of got started, right? Was it your first pop-up you ever did?
Yeah, the very first actual pop-up. It started, classic COVID thing. We were just selling packaged food, and we were delivering vacuum-sealed packs of sausages and brisket and stuff around town. But the first pop-up we did was here at the brewery. We've known these guys for a long time, and we did like a drive-through style because it was still like height of COVID.
Yeah.
And so there was we had friends with masks on, going up to the cars, taking orders, bringing them up to the loading dock, and then we were just putting together food up there and passing it out. And but yeah, I mean, I can still vividly remember the first pop-up, like looking out from the loading dock, and there was a line of cars all the way down to the bridge, and it was just like, whoa! Wouldn't know if people were going to come or not. And but yeah, and so we did a lot more pop-ups here throughout the year, and these guys are just the best, and so it's just kind of an honor to get to work with them.
Dude, it's cool, man. So reading about you guys kind of started almost through COVID, right? Like people got laid off and kind of had to like restart. And so that's for the restaurant for Lady J, that's kind of us too, right? I mean, we started 6 months before COVID happened, and then everything gets shut down. And I think in the beginning, we created a restaurant that we thought we needed to do, like that people might like. And then during COVID, we're like, let's do the shit that we like. And I think like that's kind of what you guys did. You're like, let's get back to our roots and just do the shit we want to do, man. Cook meat, have fun, and just make some awesome barbecue. Is that about right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Sam should chime in, but he was doing brewing, but when we all lost our jobs, it was just like, what do we want to do?
Yeah.
And turned out smoking meat and slinging it to people was kind of it. So.
Love it.
Well, yeah, and on top of just doing it for yourself, doing it, working for yourself and the people that you're working with, and not not some person that's never around, you know.
You hear that?
Drew was at our opening for Lady J, our friends and family.
Oh,
I think
man.
that's might be the last time I've seen you in person.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was telling Evan, my wife and I lived just down California, and yeah, when y'all opened, I was still very new. I had a little char griller in my backyard.
Yeah.
But I remember you guys were getting that smoker, and I was like, I got to go see this thing.
Yeah,
and
dude.
seeing it out there on the back dock, and yeah, it was big, and I was like, this is really exciting. And
It's not big when I look at yours. that thing is
Hey now.
a fucking monster.
Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
clip that. That's great.
But yeah, y'all don't have to pull yours around, so.
Yeah, it's
True.
pretty stationary. Right
Y'all's
now.
is a reverse flow too, right?
Yeah. Yep. Which, in hindsight, there's definitely some changes that I would make to our smoker because it's got a diverter plate, and the diverter plate is welded in, and it's at like a 2-inch pitch. So the way that it works and operates is great, but now after 6 years or whatever of running it, I got to get inside the firebox and go into this. It's pretty much like a little half moon, upside down half moon kind of slot that runs under the diverter plate. So I got to get in there with like a high pressure, high temp washer and spray it out because I don't know, man. It's rough. So if I were to do it again, I don't know if I would not do a diverter plate and reverse flow, but I would definitely either put holes in the floor of it and make each plate able to get removed so I could totally clean it. Because one thing that I really respect about your guys' operation for 100% is how nice and clean you guys keep your smoker after you use it. Because it's just me out there, like for the most part, running that smoker, and you guys have a team, and your product is fucking beautiful. Love it. Every time I see it, I'm like, God damn, I gotta go out and clean my smoker. you guys are making me look bad over here.
Oh man, what kind of smoker do you guys have? Want to explain it?
We have a few. The one that we brought up here is a Harper 1,000-gallon offset, and there's this guy down in what's the name of the town?
Right, just south of L.A.
Costa Mesa.
Costa Mesa.
Sounds fancy.
Yeah, but right by LA, and he makes them down there. And so yeah, we got that a couple years ago. The first one we got was also made down in LA area. That's like half the size, so 500 gallon. And then last year we got a second 1,000-gallon mill scale that's just on skids and not on a trailer, which is so nice for getting in and out and loading stuff in there, because like right now we have to lean over the axles and the wheelbase and everything. And
Totally.
and then we snagged a direct heat cooker last fall too from this gal down in Bend that was selling it and moving, and some nice guy on Instagram just volunteered to drive it up for us in the midst of we're like doing Oktoberfest with Freem. And
What'd you have to trade him?
well, we didn't like barely anything. We paid him a little
fed
bit and
him.
like gave him a big old platter of food, and he was just like
hell
stoked
yeah.
to do it. And yeah, so now we have 2,000 gallons, the 500, and a direct heat pit, all at the food truck. And
Are those running at all times, like when you're churning and burning, or what?
we'll see.
Yeah.
Last year when we were, we didn't get the mill scale till kind of like after peak summer. And then this is our first service of the year. So, but we have been running. The direct heat pit is kind of a little more toy, fun thing that we're going to integrate a little bit more this year. But I think we had 3 separate days leading up to this event where we had all 3 smokers full going.
Dang, dude.
It's surreal the amount of food that we have for this. And
So 4,000 pounds, man. That's like 4 hanging weight. It's like 4 cows just hanging, right? That's about 4,000 pounds.
we just brought 4 cows.
Just
with
brought
us.
4
Yeah,
cows.
that's it.
Butcher them up.
Yeah.
One of you guys is a butcher, right? You guys has butchering skills.
Not especially.
Oh, I thought you were. Okay.
I worked with a butcher for a little bit, but I wouldn't consider myself a butcher.
Okay. Okay. So what kind of stuff did you guys bring up here? What cuts of meat?
Well, somebody else should talk besides me. So Sam should tell us what
Yeah,
we
we
got.
have a lot of brisket. We have
Good.
insurmountable amount of sausages. A bunch of chicken thighs. We have pork belly burnt ends, or pork bellies that we turn into burnt ends.
Yes.
Pork shanks. We've got beef ribs.
Okay.
I think that's it on the protein. And then, yeah, we
Tri-tip.
Oh, and tri-tip.
Oh, tri-tip. Nice.
Fat on, fat off.
Fat on. Yeah. So we have to do a lot of trimming on it because they're pretty fatty when we get them. But it's nice to be able to kind of leave how much fat we want on there.
Yeah.
I have completely fallen in love with fat on tri-tip.
It's so good.
And last week I did Wagyu picanha.
Nice.
And this time is the first time I ever flipped it over, fat cap up, and scored it almost like foie gras or like a duck
cool.
breast or something. You know, like that fat cap was big, dude. And scored it, and then I dry brined it overnight and put the fat cap down in the smoker to render it a little bit. Buddy,
Cool.
it was dope.
Yeah.
And I think I might fool around with the fat on tri-tip like that too. Fat on tri-tip, god damn, it is bananas good.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah,
like
we
that picanha.
started doing that. Sam had the great idea a couple of years ago. I mean, we love brisket, but it's a long process, and it takes just so much time. And it's a 3-day process for us. It's a 14-hour cook. We get a ton of trim from it. Anyways, we were just trying to make our lives a little easier. We used to do brisket on Saturday and Sunday, and then Sam was like, "Well, what if we just did tri-tip instead of brisket on Sunday?"
There you go.
Yes.
And we're like, I don't know, are people gonna revolt and then like not come on Sundays? And so we just said, well, I don't know, let's try it and do it. And then as soon as we started cooking it, we were just like, I don't even care because this is so good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
People we're just gonna force it on them. And
I love it.
But it's so refreshing for us because it's just not. I mean, we smoke it for a couple hours, and it's not so rich and heavy. And
Exactly.
we cook it medium rare medium kind of thing.
Right, that's what we do.
And enough to render the fat a little bit on the smoker. But not having, I mean, brisket's great, but the contrast is just so nice. Brendan makes this great chimichurri sauce for
How
it.
long is
dope.
your beef ribs gonna take?
10 hours, right?
Yeah.
Probably.
Really.
Those are, about 10 hours. Bellies are usually consistently 8. Beef ribs are about 10. Briskets, 12 to 14, depending on.
So it is 12:49 on a Thursday. You guys are gonna start serving on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There's 4 of you. Is there like turns to like take naps and shit?
We have a good schedule. We've been doing it long enough to kind of figure it out. We stagger the day. So I do the early shift. Brendan finishes the cook. Pat and Sam kind of do the mid. But I mean, these events, it's just long
Yeah,
days.
it's
So I'll be
gonna
here
go.
at 4 tomorrow morning
Yeah.
to get briskets on the pit, and then they'll probably come off around 6 to between 6 and 8 or so.
Okay.
And then, we have the beautiful Alto Sham that just
That's
the backbone
moneymaker right
of
there.
of barbecue. So when they come off, we give them a nice long rest, and then they get the really, really long overnight rest in there. And that allows us to sleep a little bit.
Nah, it's nice,
But,
man.
it's a lot of, I don't know, I feel like half-time barbecue is like logistics and planning and Tetris, and then trying to remember that you get to cook in between. But
So this doesn't happen overnight. You guys have been doing this for how long now?
this,
This summer will be our 5th summer.
5 years, right?
Since COVID.
because we're
2020.
having our 4-year anniversary in Hood River in April 26th at our waterfront location.
Yes.
I want to be there for that.
Yeah, dude. We gotta
Yes,
do that.
please.
You should. It's actually it's like one of our favorite events
I'm
of the year.
super duper jealous actually that you guys are in Hood River because I fucking love Hood River. I lived in Portland for 9+ years before I moved up to Seattle, and did a bunch of skiing and snowboarding, and my friends were all into kiteboarding and all that stuff, and spent some time in Hood River. And I love Hood River. It's such a great little town, man. I'm so stoked for you guys.
Yeah.
Plus, you're killing it.
Yeah, dude.
We're trying.
So
Yeah.
what,
Yeah.
how would you guys describe your barbecue? Because people are lining up. They're going to, like, at Hood River tomorrow or at Holy Mountain Brewery tomorrow, people are going to be lining up down the block for this. So how do you guys, like, get that? What is your barbecue? How would you describe it?
Well, our tagline is Tex-ish barbecue.
Yep.
you know?
Yeah, dude, that's dope.
We want it
Tex-ish.
to be familiar enough with, Central Texas style barbecue, but to let people know that, we're also playing around because we're in the Pacific Northwest.
Sure.
Access to, wonderful ingredients in Hood River and things
Yeah.
like
Sure.
that we can bring fresh. So it's not just smoked meat. It's everything involved, sides, rotating sides.
Definitely.
But yeah, Tex-ish.
It's kind of like if we call it that, then we can do a little bit more of whatever we want and not
Yep.
Yeah.
be tied to something. And someone go, well, this isn't Texas style barbecue.
Yep.
Tri-tips from North County, San Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right? How dare you do that?
What kind of wood are you guys running?
All Oregon white oak.
Oh.
Yeah, we joke. We're pretty
Quercus
fortunate.
Guriana.
What's that?
Quercus Guriana.
Yeah.
Joke.
Science jokes. Yeah, we're on the east side of the mountains, and most of our friends in the Northwest barbecue world are on the west side of the mountains, where it rains all the time, so everybody's wood is always wet.
Yeah.
When we were in Seattle, we dealt with the worst amount of times. Brendan and I stacked just filthy, soaking wet wood. You pick up one piece and it weighs 3 times as much as it should. And
It's such a nightmare.
anyways, now we're extremely fortunate, and there's this great company right in Hood River that gets us super dry Oregon oak. And every time I put a video up of getting a cord dumped, they're like 4 barbecue people will message us or call them, or they're like, "Where are you getting this wood?" And yeah, we're very fortunate that we have a steady supply of it and don't have to deal with wet wood anymore.
Lucky ducks.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a
Lucky ducks.
little
Man, when
bit
you
of
get
pain.
that wet wood,
It's brutal. Yeah.
there's nothing worse.
Yeah. It just makes your life so
Ruins your whole
difficult.
day.
Yeah. Does it affect the flavor or just the time? What do you guys think?
I don't know. Pat, talk about wet wood.
Wet wood, baby.
Not that you ever had to deal with it when you were in beautiful Texas.
No, but back here, I actually just got a half quart of probably the worst wood I've ever gotten in my life.
Really?
Just for my house. I have a smoker at my house.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it probably could affect the flavor because it's not going to take. It's going to take longer to reach a full combustion and get that cleaner smoke
That
when
good
you
smoke.
want that a little later on in the cook. So you may just be dealing with dirtier smoke for longer.
Yeah, dirty smoke.
Oh, man.
Which is not, it has its place in the cook. Usually the beginning, depending on the protein you're cooking. But yeah, so it could, but it just really makes the cook more challenging. You have to pay a little bit more attention to it. It's not doing exactly what you want it to do when it's dried as it should
So
be.
you're a transplant from Texas.
I grew up in Portland,
Okay.
and then my family just had a restaurant there since the 70s.
Nice.
And the barbecue dude opened up next door. I didn't really want to be in the family business anymore, and barbecue things seemed cool. So
Yeah.
started working for him, really fell in love with it, and then moved to Texas and cooked and worked down there just so that I could get that experience. And then came back about 2 years ago. I work at Botto's Barbecue in Portland. Been there for like a year and a half, and then these guys brought me on. So I'm still there one day a week. I'm the cutter there, and then I'm with these guys full time.
Nice.
Man.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between working down in Texas than working up here in the Pacific Northwest, especially specifically in barbecue?
I mean, the
restaurants?
heat is the biggest thing.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah, I mean, I remember my first summer there. It was 8 weeks straight of over 100-degree days. The pit that we were on, it had a 500, or the trailer had a 500-gallon smoker, and then we had a direct heat pit because we were doing whole hog every day. So having fire on one end, fire on the other, in the trailer. Like if we would take out a thermometer probe, in the summer it's between 130 and 140 in the trailer.
Damn.
And yeah, and everyone told me, they're like, you're going to need to drink more than water. And I was like, dude, whatever. And I remember my first week, I was like as white as these walls just from the dehydration.
Oh, no doubt.
So adjusting to the heat. But the big thing is the community down there.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone gets it. Everyone's doing it. People are amazing. John Brotherton, you know, there's a lot of people that, and really helped me out and were very open to me, answered any questions, really took me into that family.
Cool.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Just the culture, you know.
Yeah.
It's
for sure.
definitely a culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I was thinking about that earlier before on my way up here, and I was like kind of thinking about like the barbecue culture, and we don't really have it like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
sure.
we don't have it like that. There's Jeff over there, and
Jeff's Texas Barbecue.
and a handful of dudes up here that are doing good barbecue, and I think it's rad that we're all going to be able to like sit around a table together and bullshit and have that, like kind of bring that culture to Seattle, because or the Pacific Northwest period, you know.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
We just don't have it. And like I think about it, kind of the way that I came up as a cook and a chef is like the restaurant culture and the chef culture, and like everybody has their own tangents and everywhere they go to like learn something new, but barbecue is barbecue, right? And it's like whatever swing that you're going to put on it, like you guys said, you're Tex-ish. I love it, because we're definitely not. Like I am definitely not Texas barbecue or anything like that. I'll dabble when I can, and Jeff calls me and talks a bunch of shit, like, fucking, you fucked your briskets up, and you called me. But you know, I think just that culture and that brotherhood and the family-centric basis of barbecue, it's such a rad thing.
But, you know, I think you see it up here, though. It's not Texas style, and then people from Texas get mad when they come in and see us because they're like, "Why? How come I can't buy a pound of brisket?" You know, but still, you still get the community. You know, I think just us being in that barbecue lifestyle culture, we still have a great community of people that come in. And I bet this weekend we're going to see a great community of people that come here that aren't just, oh, I need my Texas style, you know? So I think just barbecue culture overall is a very community driven, you know, family oriented style. And that's what's fun about it. We set out not really to be a barbecue restaurant. We were always kind of nervous to call ourselves barbecue because we don't do it the normal style. But I think the way we do it, you know, has brought in that community and that family kind of culture. And it's been pretty cool to see, man. And so I think that, I'm excited to kind of check you guys out this weekend, man, and get over here and kind of see what the type of people that come out, because it's gonna be pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah,
I won't be here at 4 tomorrow.
You're gonna be here at 4 in the morning.
Yeah, I'll be here at 4. I'm going to help you light the fire.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Right, dude.
Well, yeah, I think you really nailed it. I mean, you know, the culture is not the same here, and we've had to do a lot of educating. Especially when we first started on customers and like, this is how Texas style barbecue works. But the community is, I think, and part of that is because it is so small in the Northwest. But it's been one of our favorite things about the entire process. I mean, from the minute we started, and Brendan and I talk about this all the time, like, you know, coming up in restaurants for so long, everything was so guarded forever. And, you know, it's like you couldn't even go into a place and introduce yourself as like a fellow cook at a restaurant without someone just being like, "Who the hell are you?"
Get off my turf.
And barbecue is just so opposite of that. Everybody is so welcoming, and the community is amazing. I mean, Jeff reached out the other day, just like, "You guys need anything? You need any help while you're in town?" Owner at Outsider, we're gonna go there in a little bit. Like, he's loaning us some tents. Our buddy Nick that does burning at barbecue has got his 500-gallon smoker outside. We're gonna borrow a sham and a tent from him.
Damn,
and when we were panicking yesterday morning, thinking we might have to go pop-up style, we were remembering that we had to do that 2 years ago because our truck didn't get fixed, and we had to come up here, and we literally did a pop-up out of the loading dock. And then 2 of our barbecue buddies, one of them, Kyle from Holy Trinity, just drove up here in a van.
Dude.
We were using his deep fryers and shams, and he worked the whole weekend with us. And I mean, just the amount of times that so many people have come together to rally or just like to hang.
Yeah.
It's just really special. We're just like so lucky to be a part of that community, and
Dude.
it's just hands down one of the best things about it. And we love cooking for people and sharing our food with everybody, and we've met so many great people through it. But yeah, really like when we get to just hang out with barbecue people, and because we all like, it's not easy. It's I think that's where the general like respect and appreciation comes from. It's just like, oh, if you're willing to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and nurse this stupid fire for 16 hours, and then in the beginning, especially when you're just like, and not know what you're doing and mess it up and then still get enjoyment and satisfaction out of it, and then like want to get better, then it's like, okay, yeah, you're in the club. And,
Totally.
It's just a cool.
Not easy. It's not easy. There's so many different variables, right? There's temperature, ambient temperature outside. How long is it going to take for your smoker to come to temperature? Blah, 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 blah. Is there any nightmares since you've started? Like your brisket stalled and you're not going to be ready for service, or like the fire's not burning, or like, is there anything that happened in your past that was like, fuck, I can't believe this is happening?
Well, the last pop-up we did in Seattle before we moved to the Gorge was we were cooking everything at this house I was living at in Snohomish, and it was just a snowstorm, and it was like February, and pop-up was scheduled, had been like putting stuff on Instagram for weeks. This is the last time we're doing this. We're leaving town. Please everybody come out and support us. Maxed out the smoker for 3 straight days, spent lots of money on all this food, and then it was just like, I can't even get down the driveway. And so we ended up, we chilled, what did we do? We chilled all the brisket, and then maybe we reheated the brisket and just told people. I think that's what we did, because we were just like, everybody wanted it, and I was like, I think people probably, like, I'm not going to reheat this and not tell somebody, play it off like we didn't do that. But just like, I bet people aren't going to care because they're just going to want brisket. And,
Oh, for real.
So I think that's what we did. I don't know, it's such a blur now, but I remember being at the house and going like, we can't do the pop-up tomorrow, because we delayed it by a day and then did it the following day, and then like, because it was the weather cleared up a little bit, but we did it in the like over by Dantini Pizza, like under the cover over there, and the amount of different places we've served food in this building complex here is so ridiculous. Out of the like the distillery's loading dock, Holy Mountain's loading dock, our food truck in the back, under the cover in the front, but there was just like snow. The streets were covered in snow, and that was like, if we didn't sell all that food and turn it into money, that was going to be a really bad thing.
Bummer.
And you just don't want to disappoint people.
Man.
So I remember being pretty scared about not knowing what to do with all of that, and but I don't know. I mean, Pat and I were joking earlier. It's just like, there's always things keeping you up at night, and like freaking out that you're going to mess something up, and
What do you mean?
Right.
yeah, right.
Shit, if you're a business owner at all, man, you could always think about something that's going to stress you out.
Oh yeah, and as soon as you, well, let's talking about calling Becky last night. Like, as soon as you think that things are fine and smooth, then, they said they were like literally bags on their back, about to go out of town on a vacation, and the whole tank just blew up in the back of the brewery. It was just like, we've had 2 great weeks with perfect weather leading up to coming up here. Everything was super smooth, and then go to start the food truck and it just doesn't run. Like, what are we gonna do?
Come on, man.
So it's always something.
Dude, I know, man. It's that barbecue lifestyle.
Yeah, but then you get up here, and now we're chatting with you guys.
You made it,
and hanging out, and cooking food,
That's all good.
drinking this delicious beer that will be released tomorrow at noon.
The Holy Mountain Down to the Fire Rustic Lager.
Yeah, which actually we should talk about that, and Sam should talk about it. But this is the 3rd collab beer that we've done with Holy Mountain. I believe.
At least 3, if
Or
not
no, it's
4.
4. This is the 4th one.
4.
And
good.
4.
So you're telling me that drinking beer and doing barbecue is a symbiotic relationship?
Goes hand in hand, huh?
yeah, weird. But yeah, Sam, talk about your brewing background and why we make all these delicious beers.
We got Siri popping up over here on Tyler's phone. Shut the fuck up, Siri.
I worked at and ran a brewery in Portland for close to 10 years. And like Drew mentioned earlier, COVID happened and got laid off. Really liked the idea of pivoting out of that, but then, after a couple of years being away from it, it was like, man, I did really like doing that. And
Yeah.
I'm a big beer fan, especially lagers. And so at the same time, most of the people that I met when we moved to Oregon were people that I met because of the brewery. So I had a lot of friends that owned breweries or that were, in kind of good positions at breweries that they worked at. And it was pretty easy to just reach out to those people, especially places that don't do their own food.
Yeah.
Once we started this, it's such a no-brainer to pair up for
Seriously.
events. But then it was like, well, if we're gonna come there, like, why don't we make a beer together again, like we used to?
That's great.
And so it's been pretty cool to do. We do it. I think last year we did 9 different beers with people.
Dang. Okay. That's kind of your thing, huh?
Yeah,
That's
and
cool.
We don't always. It's tough because we can't always, bring our truck to the place and do a whole weekend like we're doing here. But we have figured out like different ways to do it. One of my favorite breweries, Grains of Wrath, they're down in the gorge, a little closer to Portland, but on the Washington side.
Yeah.
And we do a thing there on Wednesdays with them every year where, we bring a smoker, but we're not bringing the truck, and then we operate out of their kitchen. And this
Oh, that's cool.
last year we did like a collab menu where we're going to have some of our smoked proteins or sides or whatever, or our smoked burger patties that they serve on their normal burger set, or things like that, where it's like they're running service.
Yep.
We're slicing a little bit of stuff in the back, running a smoker, whatever, and their front of house staff takes care of everybody. People are getting tables and
Yeah.
so we play around with that a little bit, a little bit more flexibility in that, and not because when we move the truck and smokers and stuff, it's like it's almost a whole day to get that
dude,
truck
it's
out of there.
So much work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so much work. And I'm spoiled. Jeff's spoiled. Owner's now spoiled. And he's got his own brick and mortar. But, like, that's just one thing that I do not have to put into the program of, like, well, fuck, I gotta load up all this wood. I gotta load up my trailer. And I gotta move
It's a lot of shit.
Like, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, especially like the food truck is a workspace. So in every nook and cranny, there's stuff. And all of that stuff has to be tied down or removed and
sure.
packed and
Yeah.
and then put back so that it's an efficient workspace.
Oh, for sure,
And so,
man.
yeah, just, beyond this smoker has to get dragged out of the way so that we can back up. Like,
Sure.
it's beyond that,
Yeah.
Right.
It's a day or two with all of us sort of
Oh, yeah.
working
At
at it just to get ready to roll that thing.
But it's such a good relationship, I think, with barbecue people and breweries, and that's where we talked to the Meat Poppy down in Texas, and he jumped into like a brewery and is just doing the food, and then they're doing the beer, and he's like he actually like rents the little space, or they just allow him to do that like every weekend, and so for people starting out in barbecue, I think that's like such a great way to get your foot in the door to like see if you can cut it and make a little money and not have to get your own space or your own truck if you can get your own truck, but you have your smoker. Jump into like a cool brewery that's gonna sell a lot of beer while you're there, and you can just take care of the food.
Where you don't have to pay $10,000 in rent.
Absolutely, yeah, dude. Yeah, and the staff. So man, that's perfect. I love it. Dude, and so you mentioned we're going to Outsider Barbecue. I thought that was cool because we reached out. We've been chatting for a little while. I think we reached out last year. We wanted to catch up with you guys, and now we're finally here. And you're like, "Hey, we're going to Outsider Barbecue, right, for lunch." And Jeff from Jeff's Texas Barbecue is coming down. We're all gonna head out there and chat and
dirtbag.
Fucking, it's gonna be eat some good barbecue. Now the owner's got his spot up there, man. That just all comes back to how cool the culture is, like we've been talking about, man. I think that's gonna be pretty fun, man. It's gonna be a pretty fun day. I think getting all of us together, I think will be really cool. We can show people that the Pacific Northwest has cool barbecue, and try to build that scene even more. And because a lot of people don't really realize it, and there are great spots you can go to. There's Texas style spots. There's non-Texas style spots. I think it's pretty cool, and I think people are finally maybe starting to get a little bit of that recognition. You guys do a lot, man. When you think about Pacific Northwest barbecue, Grasslands comes up a lot, man, like a lot, and I love that. So, because you call it, Tex-ish, and I think that's really cool that it's not just Texas style; it's your own style, and I think that's what all these barbecue places that are kind of going around the world or around the U.S. right now are opening up in the East Coast and the West Coast. I think they're all kind of doing it a little bit differently, and I think that's okay. I
think it's great to break the mold. We talked about breaking the mold so much. It's like it's not just pulled pork, it's not just smoked chicken, it's not ribs, it's not brisket. That's it, right? Bang, 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 bang. Mm-hmm. It doesn't.
Now it's tri-tips, baby.
Right? It doesn't have to be that.
Exactly.
Experiment, have fun with it, do whatever you want to do. Yeah, pay homage to the classics, but that's kind of where we set off. Yeah, we were gonna do, and we've had Jeff's gone up there, amazing, super good. What's your guys' favorite thing that you're gonna be serving this weekend? Because I saw it on the board, and I want that hatch chili sausage. I want that.
That's
sausage,
really good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's our house sausage. Although we might maybe this year be having 2 house sausages. We've been really happy with the other sausage we have this weekend. We're calling it a Chex sausage because we're dummies and make up dumb names. But it's a beef and pork blend that we're trying to mimic in the Central Texas and Czech meat market because most of Central Texas barbecue is all influenced and started with Czech immigrants and so just a really simple black pepper, lots of fresh garlic, and then a little white pepper, a little marjoram for kind of some Eastern European stuff. But it's just really simple, but it's we're really happy with it. But yeah, that cheesy one that's been on the menu from day one. Bro. You can. The amount of times we can post a video of someone snapping it and cheese oozing out. I mean,
beat me to it.
It's last time we did it a couple weeks ago. Sam was just like, "All right, Pat, get ready for this. We have to do this all the time." Drew wants another video.
People love it.
But it is delicious. I mean, that's probably the thing on the menu that I could eat every day for the rest of my life and never get tired of. I really do love that sausage.
I remember the first time as a kid, I went to a barbecue with my parents, and I had never had a cheesy wiener.
Yep.
Just the bullshit hot dog with fucking squirted cheese through the middle changed my life.
And here you are now.
Here we are talking about
got you going,
cheesy
huh?
wieners.
Yeah, I think on my end, I think that our black pepper chicken thighs and then the slaw that we do are the things. I mean, it's mostly the only thing that I eat.
Really?
Just because you can't eat brisket every day.
No, you can't.
But the chicken thighs, we always say it's got to be the sleeper hit on the menu.
Okay.
But we're also really excited. We started last year doing pork shanks, and we'll have those this weekend.
How do you prepare those?
They're like little volcano-looking things.
Yeah.
Bones sticking out the top. So stand them up, season them, smoke them like that, and then.
Do you brine them or no?
No.
We do a dry brine where we salt them overnight.
Yep.
And then we use our tasso rub, which is what we use on our pulled pork.
Okay.
and it's a pretty intense rub. It's like lots of cayenne and white pepper, and it's really bad if you accidentally breathe it in.
Lots of sneezes.
Yeah.
But they eat like a little mini pulled pork.
Yeah.
For sure.
They just fall apart. There's tons of connective tissue and
So
intermuscular
good.
fat in there, and they're fantastic. They're we did them. I don't know, probably 10 times last year or something, because just like got them. Our meat rep, when I asked him about pork shanks, was like, yeah, we have these volcano pork shanks, and so we're just like, well, that sounds cool. We might as well just call it that.
Yeah.
We get them from Snake River Farms, and
Okay.
they're
Good, man.
probably shouldn't be telling people about this because they're dirt cheap and delicious, and
Dude, hey, and it's good.
but
They're good stuff.
They're awesome, and people have just been really big into them. And every time we think we have made enough, then they're just gone. It's like there's 1 or 2 or 3 on every platter that's going out, and they look really cool on the platter
They
because
look
they're tall,
cool.
bones
Yeah,
popping
man.
out.
I would say other than the copa out of the pig, I would say the shank is
Number 2.
my number 2.
Okay.
I love pork shanks.
Yeah.
And one cool thing about those shanks is like, Drew loads a smoker in the morning, and you know how much food we cook. There's a ton.
Yeah.
But with these shanks, he can sort of, in between all the little, like the negative spaces, he can just pepper them in there and figure them out. And then as things shrink, you
more in
can
there.
you can
Yeah.
put them closer together and everything. So
Yeah.
as far as even just space on the smoker, it's a great cut to when we're loading squeeze
That's
in when we're
cool.
loading as much meat on that 1,000 gallons of cook space we have to just be able to, we can fit some more on here now.
Yeah, that's a good tip.
It's just like another cool bonus of that shank that we're doing. But yeah.
Dude, yeah, I mean, because it is, for the amount of stuff you guys have to do and get done by a certain time that every barbecue spot has to do, that's a cool little tip that, that's a cool cut that you can just throw in there now, have something different because not everybody's doing it. Tastes fucking amazing, but you can really utilize all that space. I love that, man. That's
Yeah, it's
cool,
cool.
man, because you're right, like you're talking about, it's a Tetris game. and I think what a lot of people don't realize in the barbecue world, when you're not in the barbecue world and you go to a barbecue restaurant, is like, that stuff has to be done cooking, and when it's done cooking, it's ready. And when it's 4 hours later, it's gone. Like we're not putting that back in and then cutting it up tomorrow and serving it out. So utilization of space, getting the most out of your smoker, so you can be the most profitable, is definitely a fucking amazing tip, babe. Man.
Yeah, that's a good. That's such a great point, Brendan, because that is so much of what we're trying to do is how do we get the food on here? Now we're a little spoiled because we got 3 smokers at our spot, which is just so much more. But when we first started, we only had that 500-gallon smoker. We started the way we do our pork belly. It just came about because we're like, how do we can't, when we have the thing loaded with brisket, we can't fit anything else on there.
Right, totally.
And we got the top racks, but you don't want to have anything above brisket
Exactly.
dripping on there. And so the way we do our belly is we smoke them and then chill them. And then once they're chilled, we portion them into little cubes, and then we chuck those in the deep fryer
There you go.
and blast them, and they crisp up, and the
Love it.
fat's all perfectly rendered. But we started doing that because we could do it the day before.
Yeah.
And we could have more meat cooked, and then the next day when we were cooking brisket, it could just be completely full of brisket and a few shoulders, whatever.
Yeah.
It is constant. Just even now, I haven't figured out where everything's going to go tomorrow. But we started staggering the cook a little bit, where we would after the first 3 hours when we rotate brisket, everything has shrank a bunch. And so then we can rotate and push it all back a little bit. And then now there's more room, and we put the butts on after that. And then they don't take as long.
Yeah.
Now there's room for them because the brisket shrank. And then they also asked us a nice little buffer between the fire and the brisket. So it's these big old forgivable pieces of meat that can get blasted a little and be a little closer to the fire. And, but yeah, it's just constant, just moving stuff around.
It's such a Tetris game, man. So what time does the festivity start tomorrow here, Friday?
Tomorrow's noon.
Yep.
And then Saturday, Sunday are 11.
Okay.
And yeah, we'll see. The weather is not going to be as ideal as last year. and so hopefully we still have a good turnout. But yeah, last year I think the earliest someone was here like 7 a.m.
Shut up.
Oh wow.
People are crazy.
Bro.
They're crazy
Yeah.
for barbecue, man.
I think that's
They're
amazing.
crazy for barbecue.
7 a.m. It was awesome too because he came with his camp chairs, but then he had a solo stove and a skillet and was making bacon right out there.
Just chilling
Just
in line,
prepping,
cooking
man.
bacon.
breakfast.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it is, and we've tried to like promote this because we are only open a couple days a week, and at times of the year only 1 day a week, and so inevitably there is a line, and so we try to like encourage people to make the most of it. It's like bring your camp chairs, bring some friends, get some beers. Hood River is sweet too because there's no open container laws, and so like you could walk down Main Street with a bottle of bourbon and it's legal.
Shut up.
What?
And but it's awesome
Vegas.
for us because we're right next to 2 breweries, and then we have this beautiful grass lawn in front of our food truck, and there doesn't have to be any weird like, oh, you can have beers but just hide them.
Yeah.
It's just like you just don't even have to think about it, and so people can load up on beers or even if it's not beer, just like having fun in line. And last year Sam was walking around just taking pictures of all these groups and people in line because each little group had just kind of their own setup and they were all like making the most of it. I mean, it's just tailgating. It's
Yeah,
like
right?
it's an excuse to go
Yeah.
hang out somewhere with some friends.
Yep.
And then at the end of that, you get to order a ridiculous amount of food. And
Amazing.
Dude.
You also meet people,
Yeah.
If you're having fun in line and the people on either side of you are going to end up becoming your friend for the day at least.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
Dude, it's part of the experience, right? Like it's I mean, you hear about that all the time, down in Texas, people lining up 5 a.m., it's like you almost like want to do that because it's fun. It's part of the experience, You're right. It is just hanging out with some buddies and
it's
and
really
kicking it.
there's not a single time that we've ever looked out the window and seen people waiting in line and you're not just like, this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
People are coming out here, and we're an hour outside of Portland.
Wow.
So, we have great locals and regulars. Half of them don't come as often anymore because they got to wait in such a long line. But people drive out from Portland. People drive down from Seattle and stand there in line. I mean, that is just like, it's overwhelming, the feeling that you have when someone is doing that for something that you've made.
Created. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really special. And
Wow.
grateful for these people do it, and like we said, we try and make it fun and provide a good atmosphere and environment for people to enjoy it. But yes, it's just crazy that people continue to do it, and there's a little bit of one-upping too. I mean, like
Oh yeah.
there's numerous people that come to our truck and they're just like, I'm gonna be first.
Yeah,
I don't care.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
getting there so early. Last year, a guy came and slept overnight. He set up like a pop-up tent. He brought this it was a pretty rad setup actually. He this sweet rocking hammock, sleeping bag.
Oh, fucking love
slept
it.
out there all night.
Wow.
And then the guy who was so jonesed on being first in line, he got there at 6 a.m. and he was like, "Are you kidding me?" But it's pretty cool.
Well, how does it work down there? You guys, you're open. You're shut down in the winter. So spring to fall. How many days a week? How can people find you?
It's like a bell curve. So shoulder seasons, spring and fall, we're 1 day a week, just Saturdays only.
Okay.
Then we add Sundays.
Yep.
So Mother's Day weekend, we'll add Sundays. And then I forget, sometime in June, late June is when we add Fridays. When it gets
sun
really
hits.
busy down there.
Yeah.
And then taper off, take away Fridays at the end of summer.
Cool.
And then take away Sundays. We just kind of found that we were really doing just a little bit more business in 2 days than we would in 1 day. And it's so much more work to be open 2 days.
Oh, man.
So it's just why don't we just pack it into 1 day?
Yeah.
And, I don't know.
Get all the people here at once.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's smart.
Make
man.
And maybe
Make it
that's,
fun.
I'm sure there's plenty of people that are just like, that's stupid, you should be open. And
No,
but
yeah.
one
Those
of the
people
beauties
don't
of
own businesses.
Yeah, and we got into this so that we could, we were tired of working for other people,
Yeah.
and we wanted to, Sam and Brendan have just been a incredible balance for me personally because I'm a bit of a workaholic. But like great reminders of sustainability and like, you know, we need to have time with our families and friends and just like, we're just not doing anything.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to just get wrapped up in working nonstop. So, you know, if it's not the ideal model for every customer, like we get it, but we get to call the shots because we started this thing. And we're just at the end of the day, it's like, well, this is what we choose to do. And if you want to leave a bad Yelp review because we aren't open on the day that you wanted to come, like, you know, sorry you feel that way.
That only gets other people more fired up. Like, you know, when you see a stupid Yelp review like that, you're like, dude, screw that, dude. Like, I'm supporting these guys because, like, they're doing what they want to do, you know? And that happened to us in COVID, too. We were open 7 days a week at Lady J, and then COVID hit, and we were like, let's change this up, and let's just be open 5 days a week. And so we have those 2 days off to, like, just recoup. Everybody gets a weekend, and it was the best thing ever. Like, we do more now in those 5 days because people come out and see us on those days than just being open all the time from, like, you know, 3 o'clock to midnight. Like, we were 3 o'clock to midnight 7 days a week, and now we're 5 days a week, 4 to like 9. We're like, just come and see us when we're here. We're awesome. When the food's out, we're done. And when you know, at 9 o'clock, the shit off our smoker isn't going to be good anymore. So, like, we're done. Like, that's it. So come find us.
Yeah, and y'all are probably putting out way better product because everybody's stoked to be there.
Yeah,
you're not burnt out.
And exactly.
Just like, and you're not just fed up with what you're doing, and you got better ideas. And
yeah, man. It's a difference maker. It's a difference maker.
Got 100 pounds of brisket going in the smoker tomorrow. Pastrami, rather, for St. Patty's Day.
Oh, nice.
Oh, man.
Uh-huh.
We're doing a big St. Patty's Day.
Not that sounds a lot to you guys. 100 pounds.
It's a lot.
You guys got 4,000.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have.
How do you do your pastrami?
It's been in brine for 2 weeks.
Nice.
And, you know, it's kind of a basic brown sugar, beer, salt, water, all the hootie what's and spices.
Do you inject it?
What's that?
Do you inject it?
I don't, but I do skewer it.
Oh, okay.
So,
What do you use for a skewer? Just like a little metal one?
Yeah, just like a 16-inch.
Just
long
Freddy Krueger it?
one. Yeah, Freddy Krueger the fuck out of it. Yeah, and then it goes in brine for 2 weeks, and then I just pulled it out before I came here, let it air dry until I get back, and then I'll smear a little bit of mustard on it, and then just the classic 2 equal parts, pretty much 14 mesh cracked pepper and toasted coriander. Smoke it, wrap it, roast it, and then we'll slice it all, chill it, and then slice it all and portion it out because I gotta have the exact number of how many sandwiches we can do on Sunday because it's gonna be like, it's gonna be nuts. We already have like 90 reservations, so
Cool.
yeah,
Do you grind the coriander?
I do. Half-ish.
Yeah, like leave some chunks.
yeah,
nice.
for
That's
sure.
that's what we do too.
For sure.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's like it's cool because when it goes on the smoker, it breaks down to a point where you can like eat those whole pieces, and it's not like, whoa, geez, I just ate a raw coriander seed. Yeah, one of these. Brendan and I talk about these. Did y'all ever have the cumin ribs at Stateside?
No.
Oh, it's been so long since
Oh,
I've been
man.
outside, dude.
That's
I
like
love that place.
those
Thank you for
ribs,
reminding me. I
unreal.
love that place.
But yeah, Brendan's buddy worked there, and we've asked him, I don't know, 800 times for the technique on them. But it's whole cumin seeds on there, and we've tried doing it a few times.
I know exactly what you're talking
They
about.
just get torched on the smoker, and they're a little burnt. But whatever they were doing, just putting them on at the end and then hard searing it or something. But God, those ribs are unreal.
Delicious.
So how do you guys do your brisket before we get out of here? Because I think, you know, we talked to Jeff, you know, he's talking about the science of the size of the salt and the pepper and everything like that. Are you guys into that? Are you guys freestyling it? What do you like to do?
Oh.
Big question.
It is. I mean, it's changed a lot. Well, a lot to us. It would probably be if I like wrote down the changes. People are like, "What did you change here?" Because it's just like so many tiny little things.
Yeah.
But we do, I don't know, I guess the rough thing would be we do 18 mesh pepper, 3-to-1, that and kosher salt, and then we season it in a bus tub because we don't like wasting spices. I just like the seasoning from above and just spices going everywhere. It just doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, a little mustard on there. We trim heavy to get it to the exact shape that we want. Typical like amount of fat on the top, and make little torpedoes, and a little mustard to make it stick, and then brisket rub, and goes in the smoker, like dirty smoke, 200, 225 for an hour, ramp up to 250 for a couple hours, 275, put foil tips on there. We wrap in butcher paper with tallow, and then finish 290, 300.
Yeah.
Just to push them through.
Yeah.
We also, right after we wrap, we always spin. Start out obviously like the point towards the fire, and then, I mean, that's one thing that's incrementally changed, because Sam and I there, not Pat and I there wrapping. That's something that's incrementally changed with like when we actually spin. Like first, like I don't even know if we were spinning them, and then it turned into like, all right, so we'll wrap and I'll wait like 2 hours and I'll spin them. And now it's like wrap, spin them immediately, because I don't know, just the way that the fire goes, the way the smoker's going, it's like a lot of times that point is like, all right, that's perfect. And you feel the flat, and it's like, that's still kind of tight.
Yeah.
So it's just like the earlier sort of swap, point to flat. You just get like more even cook. I don't know, that's another thing that's, I guess, changed.
No, there's
I don't know.
definitely an
I
art
love
to
it.
it, dude. And there's, I mean, again, the variables, like knowing your smoker, knowing my smoker, knowing
Sure.
Jeff's smoker.
Yeah.
They're all different.
Yeah.
They operate so differently, and the hot spots are different, and the ambient heat and the way it naturally is a convection or like whatever. And then you got the steam aspect. Once you get to that point where your meat actually starts to steam a little bit, then you get a moisture ambient. Like, there are so many variables.
I was reading something the other day, and it was just like, it was on Reddit. It was just like people just being sick of the question, like, how do you, like, what exactly do you do for this? And it's like, listen, man, you can make the best brisket you've ever had on the worst possible smoker. You can make the worst possible brisket you've ever had on the most beautiful, well-made smoker. It's just figure out exactly like we were saying, the hot spots, the moisture, the everything, the fire, like the coal bed, like everything. It's like, once you get that down, like, and figure out all of those variables, it's like, you can make gold.
You got to make 20 bad briskets before you get
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we look
Not a
back
real
at
number.
It is a real number. I mean, it's looking back at pictures of even a year ago.
That's funny.
And
Oh
I'm
my
just
God.
like, oh man, I'd never post that now.
Oh, yeah.
But that's the best thing. Is like that. It's just that's why barbecue's so fun.
Yeah.
Because you're doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over, and it gets a little bit better every time. And yeah, I mean, I bet probably 95% of the brisket we cooked our first summer we wouldn't even serve now.
So funny.
And it wasn't
so funny.
bad. It
Yeah.
was good, but it's just like we've made so many teeny tiny tweaks
Yeah.
that it's
So
just
funny.
better.
The
and
standard
better.
keeps getting raised. you
Yeah.
know? Yeah, absolutely.
But it's fun.
Dang,
I was showing Pat a picture of my first brisket ever the other day on the little char griller. It's just
It's
like
embarrassing,
a gnarly,
isn't it? It's embarrassing.
Well,
dude.
that one's funny.
I
The
have a
embarrassing
picture on
ones
my
are the
phone.
ones-
It's fucking embarrassing, dude.
To me, the embarrassing ones are from like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, I should have known better by then.
Yeah.
But like the first one is like, oh, that's just hilarious. It's just
Oh,
like
man.
trying to figure out your way. You don't even understand where the muscles are and everything.
Hey, you just got to hop into it, though, man. That's what we talked about with Jeff, man. You got to just get into it and learn, like
Go.
you said, learn your smoker, learn what's type of salt and pepper you like to use, what kind of spices, and just get it going. Yeah, fuck up 20, 30, 40, and then
Yeah, and like you said,
hopefully get a good one.
and figure out what you want to do.
Yeah, how do you
Like,
want it to
Yeah,
taste?
because everybody's, there's just so many different ways of.
At the end of the
doing
day,
all
you can
it.
always make chili out of a fucked up piece of biscuit.
That's the specialty. Dude, well, hey guys, let's wrap this up, man. We got to get to Outsider Barbecue here soon. Is there anything else you guys want to get out to the Meat Dudes following? Anything crazy? Any other tips, or should we just
Come see us at Holy Mountain Brewery tomorrow.
Yeah, this will probably not be out by the time, but we'll talk about it on social
Yeah.
media a shit ton the next couple hours, anyways. So
Oh, I think I don't know. Just one thing to say would be that it is. We recognize that we live in a small town that's an hour away from Portland and not very close to Seattle, but it's. We chose that town because it's stunningly beautiful. The drive from Portland out there is stunningly beautiful. There's tons of fun stuff to do. We just have. I really think we have maybe the most pretty barbecue location in the world. Like it's just. I start the cook and watch the sunrise through a valley above the Columbia River. I mean, it's just ridiculous. In the summertime, go like in 15 minutes I can be off the truck, changed into my bathing suit, jumped in the river, and back to like finish cleaning. And it's just like we're seconds away from the river, and it's Mount Hood is in one way, and Mount Adams is the other way, and it's a really, really special place, and we really like to share it with people, and so we recognize it can be a little intimidating to get out there, and it's far, but there's a lot more to do there than just come eat our barbecue, and if that's an excuse to come out there and visit, then it's great, but you can find 800 other excuses to come out there and see it, because it's just a really special place, and we really like to share it with people. So.
dude, we gotta come down there for a cook, man. I want to see that sunrise, man. That would be awesome, honestly.
Come
dude.
for the Hootenanny.
Yeah.
That's the end of April. That's our anniversary party. That one's super fun. And then we do another really big party at the end of September. We call it Swamplands.
Yeah.
And it's just an all Cajun theme menu.
Dope.
I actually just got a text from this guy's name's Lefty Head. He's gonna
He's
gonna come. He has a prosthetic left arm and plays a guitar, and he's putting together an 8-piece Cajun Zydeco-ish band that's going to play. And then our local friends are going to play too. Our buddy Jason from Gonzo's Barbecue down in Louisiana is coming out. We're going to do an all Cajun menu. And it's a lot of fun. If you need, that's another excuse if you want to just like come for a party. But,
Dude, we gotta come down.
Yeah, it's really fun. So.
Yeah, dude. We're gonna come down for that, man. Well, thank you guys. Let's head out to Outsider here and go see Owner.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no, we appreciate you guys, man. This is cool. It's really cool to meet all you guys, and I'm gonna enjoy the rest of the day here. Then we're gonna go out and chill out and eat some good barbecue with everybody, and man, it should be fun. So, yeah, with that, let's sign it off and let's get the heck out of here. Cheers,
Goodbye.
guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.